boulders?
Yes, I want one in each hand.
All right. I'll throw them to you and catch them.
Oh yeah, you just throw them to me.
All right.
It'll all work out. As I run.
Yeah.
Holy moly! Nice. Pretty. Pretty.
This is
Hey.
my daughter. 7.
Okay, now what I was thinking is some goose eggs.
A goose egg.
Or dino eggs. Dino eggs.
There you go.
They look more like dinosaur eggs.
Mother of stones.
Mother of stones. Holy moly. Mother of stones is going down.
All right, we're good to go. Time to go get on the scale.
Yep.
What do you think it is?
I'm gonna guess 720.
720? That's probably a good guess. I'll say 680.
680?
Yeah.
Okay. Closest without going over?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're at 8,100. Wow, we were both wrong. What was that, Ray? Do your math. 8,100 minus
8,100 even?
8,100 even minus 70,
100 even.
60.
40 would take it to 7,100, so 1,040 pounds.
We just lifted 1,040 pounds. This is going to be expensive. Look who just landed. He thinks I'm a flower. He wants an impromptu video moment. We'll take him back and we'll see if he wants to pollinate something. There he goes. Okay, we're on day 55 of the hallway space project. Okay, maybe I exaggerated. Day 5?
I think so.
It seems like day 55. It's what do you probably guesstimate about 2,000 pounds of rock, soil, mulch, plants.
At least, yeah, maybe 2,500 pounds, I guess.
Yeah, and in the heat, feels more like 5,000 pounds. So we're, I think, both ready for this project to be over. But we're making progress, although he's still wrestling with getting the heads to work. He's moved all the heads out from, they were on the fence line to here. So what's the deal? What's the problem?
Well, the heads have been in the ground for about 12 to 14 years. So they've been set in one particular cycle as far as how they rotate, how far they spray. So when you move them, they're stuck in that position, and then trying to get the tool in there to adjust it, over 12 years, dirt and grit and everything has got compacted in the controls. So last night when we turned it on, it was only spraying about 5 feet here and not rotating. So I was trying to get the tool in there, which I couldn't because it was dirty, and also it was pitch black out here and I really couldn't see. So we waited till this morning. I just took it off, I took it over and I sprayed it out real good with the jet nozzle on the hose, and I got all the dirt out of all the controls. So I should be able to get in there and make the adjustments that we need to do, and then reset the rotation so that it's proper.
Okay, we'll see how that goes. Ray, how come this sprinkler is not running? Oh, that's the one where it's just
That's the one that might have to be
replaced.
surgically adjusted.
Yeah. Nothing's easy. He's got it going now. Let me move out of the way. Here it comes. All right, what are you doing now?
All right, so this head isn't coming up. It's coming up about 1/8 of an inch, which is just allowing it to leak and obviously fill this canal with water. So what I'm going to do is take it off. They just unscrew from this little adapter. This is I don't know if I showed you in another video, but this is a Hunter head, and that's a 1/2 inch line. This little adapter screws into the 1/2 inch, but the Hunter heads take a 3/4 inch valve. So it starts off at a 1/2 and then it expands up to a 3/4 inch. But this allows you to adjust it. I could bring it all the way up and have it above the ground. It rotates basically 360 degrees, as does this valve. So I could, if I wanted to, I could turn it and bring it over this way or that way. And it's really, it's a nice little feature to have. I don't know if all landscapers or irrigation people put them in. Our landscaper, our irrigation guy did. So we were lucky with that we have these. Otherwise, it would just be a different, instead of a female receptacle here, it would be a male, and that would just screw right on, but then it's pretty much set. You can't move it left, right, sideways, up or down without moving the whole line. So we're going to take this one off and work on it a little bit. Again, they've been in the ground for 12 years. The top just screws off.
Ray doesn't give up on a head until it's dead and buried. I would just replace it and buy a new one.
No, never. These things should last a long time. And then what happens is, a lot of times, like, you can just hear the grit in there.
Yeah.
Remember, every time when the water comes on, this pops up. That's what comes up above the ground. and then when it goes back in, it takes dirt and grit with it. So what I do is I take it over, I rinse it out with like high pressure water. I sometimes even lubricate the, for lack of a better word, the shaft here. Yeah, and then we'll put it back in and see if it works. If it doesn't work at that point, then I think it's time for it to go. Has to go away, and I'll get a new one.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay, so this is a cleaned out old head. I think this is actually the head that we originally took out of there, and it wasn't working, and to just try to be quick, I swapped it out with that head, which also wasn't working. It's my fault. We replaced, I would say, over the years, we had approximately 45 heads on the property, and then over the years I've taken them and broken them. I take the large hunter heads and break them into pop-ups, so we probably have about 12 of those. And then every year when you turn your system back on, I would say you have about maybe a 5% issue with heads. They either need to be slightly worked on or just replaced. But what happened was, over the last few years, I was removing some heads, so I took some bad heads out and was going to work on them later, and then I took good heads out to reduce them and to put them into pop-ups, and I mixed them up. So now I have a bunch of heads that are some are good and some are bad. So this is the way I'm going to find them.
You're going to flush them out.
Yes, exactly. We found one this morning.
Okay, so I'm going to get working on, you see, we have a curve going. That was intentional, design-wise. And here we still have a straight line. So I waited to set this curve and put everything in. And now I'm going to mirror it and just bring that out just slightly and mirror the curve, instead of having that be a straight line on this side. See how it's kind of just going straight this way? We want it to kind of come out a bit and mirror that. So I'm going to get working on that. No, it's death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Oh my goodness.
Ah, stings like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, we're doing a supply run, and we've stopped at Wawa to get ourselves some pretzels. So this is our little buffet. There was a mustard shortage, heaven forbid. You cannot eat a pretzel, Philly pretzel, without mustard. So yeah, we're headed, what, to Lowe's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For some manure and
Rainbird head.
yes.
But first, we're gonna partake of this awesome snack.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. We're just about finished the latest project, which is this hallway space going back to our fountain and our frog pond, and eventually the greenhouse when we can acquire it. It took roughly about 5-6 days to do it. It was a lot of work. We're a little bit tired. The humidity and the temperatures were hovering mostly around 94-95 degrees all week, and humidity upwards of sometimes 85%. So it was a rough week that way, but we're glad we got it done. And yeah, so I'll take a few minutes to go over some of our design choices and some of the things we still have to finish, like digging in the slate. But yeah, so we'll go through it and let's get started. Okay, so to give you some context as to where this area is, this is our herbaceous garden next to our patio. Our fireplace is located here, and then we have a large grassy area over here. But if you just spin around, you go by our bunny barn, and then this is where this hallway area is that we've been working on. It is right behind our hardtop gazebo, and it leads down to the frog pond and fountain, and eventually this path will lead to the greenhouse, the back side of the greenhouse. So because we have so much color in the herbaceous border and the other borders around here, I wanted something really calming and more contemplative as you go up to the frog pond and our little wilderness garden that we're starting with, that we're just going to leave wild. We won't even weed it. We're just going to let it, whatever occurs in there, occur. And so we wanted this to be really restrained as far as planting goes. My herbaceous border, everything went. I put everything in that border that I could throw at it, and I threw out all the rules. And every inch is planted. And it really worked out for pollinators. But this area I want to be a much more restful, peaceful area. So we chose very limited plantings. As you can see, we already had the evergreen hedge here, and so I decided that we needed a bit of color, so we went with, both my husband and I love the Hakanakloa grass, for Japanese forest grass. So we chose the Japanese forest grass to be the underplanting of the evergreens. And we put 20 of those in and plan to add more, although they will get pretty big and bushy on their own, so those will probably fill, but maybe we'll fill in the back in between areas a little bit more, but we'll see. They're a little bit hard to acquire in this area, and we kind of lucked out and got those. We decided to extend the slate look throughout, but instead of using the large, we kind of went smaller here and graduated down, and then we went with more horizontal long pieces instead of the thick, wide, chunky ones, and left a lot of green in between the spaces, which will look a lot better in the fall when we reseed this area. Right now it's just not time for seeding, so we're going to let it be. We do need to dig these in a bit, so they will be dug into the grass a bit more, and we like to let them settle down, and then we have the pattern. They'll give the pattern, and we'll just kind of scrape the grass away and then put them in, because over time they settle in pretty deep on their own. So we did the Japanese forest grass on this side. We obviously added the boulders, which you saw us shopping for. And then on this side, we did the pennisetum grasses. And these are either Carly Rose or they're a grass called Hamlin. When we got home, we realized that there were two tags, one on either side of the grasses. So what we thought we were buying was Hamlin, and it ended up that they all had Carly Rose tags in them. It wasn't a big deal because they both grow to the same height, which is about 3 foot high, so they will be dwarf pennisetums. And so as long as they're, they don't get gigantic, they should be fine, and they should do well here. It's a part sun location on this side and more shaded on this side. This is about the only light this side will get. So yes, so we plan on, we ran out of stone, but we plan on curving this path back towards the fountain and not taking it all the way up the lane to the trellis. So it's just going to curve around, and then there might be a meditation bench or something put along in front of the fountain so that you can kind of observe the frog pond and the fountain. But we haven't really decided that. But we do know we're going to mimic the curve down here. Let me back up a little bit. So we're going to mimic this curve and take it and curve it back towards the fountain. So it'll all be one smooth kind of arc. And then we're going to leave the end just green. So that's about it. It's a very calm kind of hallway without a lot of busyness. We tried to keep it really natural with the incorporation of the boulders, and blended it into the frog pond, as you can see, by marrying the concept by dotting in the forest grass. Just kind of here and there. And so this is what it looks like from the other end. And again, this will kind of curve gently around, kind of in keeping with the curve, back towards the fountain. And we're not exactly sure if we're going to do anything with this area or just leave it grass. Yeah, so that's about it that we've gotten done now. I'm sorry it's not complete, but this is where we're at, and we are kind of out of materials. You can see we had the piles of mulch bags and everything, and manure kind of killed the grass, and this was kind of hard on the grass through here. We have a sandy soil to begin with, so the grass that was growing back here wasn't really thick to start. So we will be adding probably manure and some topsoil back here to get a better grass growing, a deep shade grass to grow back here. So yeah, so that's it. I think it turned out really nice. I think it marries the two sides really well. And yeah, we're really happy with it. So thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a great day.